and gentlemen, the battle may have been won, but the war is far from over. This was the theme of Prime Minister Modi's pep talk to his lawmakers. To secure victory in 2024 elections, he conveyed his message loud and clear today. The voter is the king and should never be underestimated or taken for granted. This statement was a direct message to those who had previously criticized the voters and doubted the mandate by calling some Gaumutra state voters, some less educated, less literate, and you know all the statements that have come from the opposition. During his speech, the Prime Minister reminded the members of Parliament that BJP's success was mainly due to its pro-incumbency stance. In support of his argument, he cited an example of how the Congress party, while in government, lost 33 out of 40 times when seeking a mandate from the people, whereas the BJP, on the other hand, only lost 17 out of the 39 times that they went in for polls. He even urged his members of parliament to engage with the public and disseminate information about the government schemes. Listen. And let's go straight to the team. Despite the evident results, some people seem to be in denial, but the Prime Minister's proved his point. And I come back to my panel. Gaurav Bhatia, aspirational districts, 65 of them in this particular election fell in the 4 states of Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh and Telangana. Out of these, the BJP actually won 40 odd out of these 65 aspirational districts. So clearly something about the development program working and working to a plan, while the opposition is only criticizing EVM.
See, Navika, today the meeting of all the legislators with the Prime Minister had very important messages for everyone, not just the legislators. Your channel reported that Narendra Modi ji made a request that please don't use all the words of reverence, Adarniya Pradhan Mantri, Sammanit Pradhan Mantri ji. He said, I want to be referred to as Modi, because Modi defines the normal citizens of our country. It is the name which people can relate to. So that's a very strong message that, you know, the common man is there to rule. The end of VVIP culture has happened. Second, as you rightly said, we must remember that when it comes to choosing Bharatiya Janata Party, if we are incumbent, people have full faith in the Bharatiya Janata Party and our success rate is very high. I'll give you 2 examples. Gujarat. Congress said, oh, we'll win the elections. BJP will lose. 6 elections in a row. And that too, the last one with a historic mandate. You know, the highest ever seats by the Bharatiya Janata Party in Gujarat. Second, let's go to Uttarakhand. The same as Rajasthan. You know, alternate terms for the Bharatiya Janata Party and the Congress. Rivaj hai, badal jayegi. You remember Uttarakhand? What happened? The Bharatiya Janata Party was again voted to power. The reason is simple. Rivaj bhi badal jate hain jab aapki shakhsiyat aisi ho. When you stand tall in front of your opponents, when you are committed to their welfare, these trends also fail. They are a dwarf. They are a pygmy in front of you. Third and most importantly, in Chhattisgarh, the ST belt as well as the Naxalite infested belt. You know, we lost last time, but we learned our lessons. This time there has been a role reversal complete. You know, we had won 1 seat out of the 12, and this time it's the other way around. Why is it so? It is because people believe in the Bharatiya Janata Party, Narendra Modi ji, and the state leadership collectively. Millions of our party workers, and I must condemn them and thank them. They work day and night tirelessly to ensure that we get this victory. And that is the message Narendra Modi ji today gave to the leaders, that this election is over. Get geared up for the 2024 elections, because there are miles to cover before we rest.
Absolutely. And let me give you the numbers, Tehseen Poonawalla. And these are numbers that we've crunched out of the election data. Aspirational districts in Madhya Pradesh, 35, BJP 130. In Rajasthan, 10 out of 17. Chhattisgarh, 11 out of 21. I also want to tell you, the Congress in 2023 won 24 seats in the aspirational districts, when in 2018 they had won 52 of these. So clearly, it's a targeted, and the mapping of these aspirational districts has been done with a plan that there is not enough development. Let's approach things differently, and then, that's where governance will get the voters' support. And that shows in terms of what we've seen on the ground. Do you think you would want to give the governance model and the attention to detail a little bit of a compliment?
Yes, definitely. And I started by complimenting the BJP for winning 3 states, and they deserve all the compliments. But I wish the government could spend a little less time in electioneering, a little more time in governance. If little bit of this planning and mapping could happen in Manipur, it's still this fresh round of violence. Little bit of this governance could happen with Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh, and he could be thrown in jail. The BJP, by all accounts, is sweeping Uttar Pradesh even in 2024. Why can't Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh ji be in jail after he was molesting women for asking for protein?
Okay.
Ajay Mishra Teni's son ran over farmers. Shouldn't Ajay Mishra Teni have been removed as the home minister? A little bit of governance, a little less electioneering will make our country even help it go even furthermore. Why can't that be the model?
All right, I'll come back to you, Gaurav Bhatia, because I'll need to get other people on the panel, and I'll give you the last word. But Anand Ranganathan, easy way out for Tehseen to bring up so many unrelated issues. तुम बहुत अच्छे आदमी हो पर तुम्हारी नाक थोड़ी टेढ़ी है, तुम बहुत अच्छे आदमी हो लेकिन तुम्हारा कान जरा थोड़ा एक ऊपर एक नीचे है. What kind of a comparison is he doing?
Women or Manipur a small issue, ma'am?
It's not, but I'm talking about aspirational issues and policy interventions.
So I'm sorry, Anand, those wrestlers have aspirations. When the Honorable Prime Minister tell these wrestlers, "Aap mere parivar ke sadasya ho," they went to him. Brij Bhushan Singh molested them. Shouldn't Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh be in jail? Ram Rahim is out.
Isn't there an FIR? Isn't there an FIR?
Yes, yet Delhi police is not acting.
All right.
Shouldn't Ram Rahim be in jail?
Anand Ranganathan.
Now,
does that?
Sorry, Anand.
Yes, Anand.
No, while my good friend and brother Tehseen has data, I have data. So let me just give you data. And this will explain everything why BJP under Mr. Modi keeps on winning. 3 states, very quickly, under a minute. Number 1, the BJP in 9 years has increased its vote share in Tripura from 1 to 40%. You know why? Because the tap water connections have increased from 5 to 55%. Because Ayushman cards have increased from 1 to 60%. Let me give you the example very quickly of Uttar Pradesh. When Akhilesh Yadav left his government in 2017, the GSDP per capita of Uttar Pradesh was 47,000. In 5 years from then, under Yogi, it increased to 66,000. In 2017, 32% of girls in UP had finished 10 years of education. Within 5 years, the number increased to 41%. The infant mortality rate in UP in 2017 under Akhilesh Yadav was 63.5. In 5 years, UP Adityanath reduced it to 50. These are data. And finally, in Madhya Pradesh, when you ask why people have won, 80 million population. Within 5 years, 25 million of them have Ayushman cards. 8 million women are using cooking gas. 8 million households have toilets. And still you ask, why Modi keeps on winning? This is why Modi keeps on winning. Modi ko sirf ek hi aadmi hara sakta hai, khud Modi.
Well, Ghanshyam Tiwari. Ghanshyam Tiwari, this is the development model, and do you think this kind of concentrated development agenda actually makes political parties win elections?
Well, I think you started off saying about humility of the Prime Minister, and probably it is not too. It is against the rules of humility to go to Manipur. Just a few days back, 13 people were killed in firing. The Prime Minister has. Does anybody on this panel know when was the last time the Prime Minister of India visited Manipur? And does anybody has a good reason why humility prevents him from going to Manipur or having a discussion on Manipur? So we can have a lecture on how Pradhan Mantri ji doesn't like to be called Pradhan Mantri ji, but the story of his humility is out there, and it can be read from Manipur onwards. That's point number 1. As far as development record is concerned, If you look at the development record with respect to unemployment, the story is out there. The Modi guarantee is that the cylinder that was near 500 rupees in 2016 is now 1200 rupees, and when Modi ji, if he comes to power in 2024 again, it will be 2000 rupees. That's a Modi guarantee. 200 rupees petrol
Smita
is Modi
Prakash,
guarantee.
when Ghanshyam
$84
Tiwari actually says if Modi ji comes back, that means he's almost certain that it's going to happen. Number one, and number two, the Congress party, the opposition is still questioning the EVM. That's how forward-looking they are. What would you want to say?
And sorry, didn't mean to interrupt Smita, but just to say...
No, I'm short of time, no interruptions.
It's been a
Smita.
bitterly fought election, and it's always hard for the... It's a bitterly fought election, and it's always hard for a party which has lost to accept the results. And if you see that, what the Prime Minister said, he said to guard against exactly that, the bitterness, lies, pessimism. And I think after being 10 years in power, some people in the BJP could learn that humility, could learn from becoming arrogant too. The country has rejected negativity, is what the Prime Minister said. And that's exactly what the BJP should also remember, that negativity is not something that they should tread the path on, whichever state they're going to fight the election. And the Congress could do well to introspect and see if this analysis of the Prime Minister was wrong or right. Are they going to shoot the message just because they don't like the messenger? The defense mechanism is to be angry and to hit back and shout at whoever is carrying the message, whether us in the media, whether the op-eds which are coming out in the newspaper to do analysis. You can shout at all of us and you can call us motivated, having colored lenses or whatever. Shoot the messenger, fine. But if you don't learn, it's going to be another election that you will lose. And why do I care? I care because I want a good opposition in this country. Just like all of us in this panel want a good opposition in this country. So you have to learn from your mistakes. And I mean anybody out here who's sitting with who represents the opposition out here.
Well, clearly everybody knows what we are talking about, but we leave it at that. Time completely out on this debate. But before I end the debate, apologies to you, Smita, and apologies to you, Anand Ranganathan, on behalf of Ghanshyam Tiwari. He's not saying it. I'm saying it on his behalf because you're my guest on my show. Thank you very much for joining me, but do apologize for the words that shouldn't have been spoken to anybody, just out of courtesy, whether we have, similar thinking, thoughts or opinions or not. Common courtesies never hurt anybody. We leave it at that. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me on the News Hour at 9. I'll be back tomorrow, same time, on the same show, the News Hour at 9. Good night.
You were watching the News Hour at